Governor Palin, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you.
So the last time you and I spoke, you were torn between Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. Torn. And now you've gone with Trump very enthusiastically. What made the difference? What tipped the scale?
Yeah, well, it became a much less difficult decision once some inconsistencies started coming out about Cruz's position on amnesty, on building that wall and securing our jobs and our homes via tighter borders. I just started looking a little bit closer and realizing we just don't need more of the same. We need that fresh, energetic, can-do spirit that Trump has brought with him from the private sector, which I love. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it wasn't a tough decision.
Ted Cruz told me on Sunday about Trump's decision to skip the debate, quote, if I was doing a job interview with you and I called you up and said I'm not willing to show up for the job interview, you wouldn't hire me. And I think that's what Donald said to the people of Iowa.
I think that, there's no reflection on Mr. Trump's opinion of the great, great people in the heartland here in Iowa. No, that's kind of a funny perspective that Ted Cruz has, because Donald Trump, if anyone, has the record to prove that he, as the businessman who is so successful and wants the rest of America to be successful, he's kind of the epitome of the job interview. He has gone through the job interview, and he has proven himself via that very successful record of strength that's made manifest in not just materialistically, but where he is in our culture, where he is now politically. He's at the top. So, yeah, no, he passed the job interview.
As you know, a caucus is much more complicated than just a primary vote or an election vote. People have to come. They have to devote a little bit of time.
Yes.
A lot of Mr. Trump's support, they're first-time caucus goers, theoretically, if they turn out. Are you concerned at all about whether or not they're going to turn out tonight?
You know what I've been concerned about in terms of this process of the caucus? You're making a good point that it is kind of difficult, and we hear that weather may move in and make that kind of a cumbersome situation for people. Maybe they can't get to the caucus. What I've been concerned about is what the Cruz campaign has done to previous voters, potential voters, who weren't able to make it to a caucus, maybe because it's a difficult process.
You mean that literature,
and then
the voting shame thing?
They were shamed. They and their neighbors being sent report cards saying, you got an F because you didn't vote. You didn't do what we think you should have done. That, to me, is very reflective of politicians thinking that they know best, or that they know the intricacies of your life so they can make decisions for you. So that's what I've been concerned about with this whole caucus process.
What did you make of it other than politicians telling people? Did you think it was offensive? Did you think it was...
Very offensive. However, it's been done before. I don't know if necessarily in these parts it's been done before, but I know that elsewhere people think that they're clever. Political parties who get out of hand think that they're clever by shaming people and by trying to intimidate voters. I think that's very shameful. I'm just such a freedom-loving gal. I don't even want government to know what my voting record would be. I certainly don't want and don't think it's necessary for a political party to collect the data from government about who votes, who doesn't vote, and then rub it in their face.